Hello friends, gonna do a little short video here. This is my video entitled The M.I.Bs are S.O.Bs Part 2. Now yesterday I told you about my own experience with the M.I.Bs, and people want to know, well, what are the M.I.Bs really like? What are their purpose here and all that? Well, back in 1997 this movie came out, which a lot of people in the United States have seen. They had Men in Black, Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith. Then came along Part 2 and 3. Now there's a fourth one. Anyway, those movies portrayed the M.I.B. as a secret agency within the United States that they, supposed to silence all witnesses and everything, and they don't even report to the U.S. government, all this kind of stuff. No, that's not what the M.I.B. really are. They tried to portray the M.I.B. as a bunch of nice guys. No, they're not a bunch of nice guys. There was another movie that came out the very same year, 1997. This movie right here. It's called The Shadow Men. This is probably the most accurate portrayal of the M.I.B. that you will see on the silver screen. This movie shows what they are actually like. It's called The Shadow Men. It came out the very same year that the Men in Black movie came out in. Now, they did tell us some truth in the Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith movie, Men in Black. They did tell us some truth in there. They changed it up a little bit. Some of it was dead on, but of course it was done and made of a comedy sci-fi movie, so people didn't catch on. In the movie Men in Black with Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith, they called each other by letters. One went by J, and the other went, by the name that he went, K. K and J. And originally there was a guy named D, and then you hear somebody named B and all that. The next movie there's a guy named T. The actual Men in Black, they refer to each other by numbers. In the movie Men in Black with Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith, they did not wear the black fedoras. That was one thing they left out. Another thing they said was, let's check the hot sheets. Supermarket tabloids. Like, who the hell's going to believe supermarket tabloids? I'll show you where that came in. This movie right here, called Roswell, about the 1947 Roswell incident. Find it on Amazon, like you can find anything I'm about to show you, or have shown you on Amazon. Anyway, towards the end of the movie Roswell, they had these guys that were supposed to be the legendary Majestic 12. A group that was formed of high up military individuals. Maybe some Central Intelligence Agency people. I don't really know. But anyway, these guys, their job was, how do we deal with UFOs? And one of them says, how are we going to control leaks? Something's bound to happen. Somebody's bound to say something. The guy said, well, as long as we control how the information is leaked, it might not hurt us necessarily, like hoaxes. And so you have a lot of people out here deliberately staging hoaxes to muddy the waters. The other one they said was, lease accurate information in less than reputable sources. Boom. That was the birth of the supermarket tabloids. Two of those tabloids, the Weekly World News and the Sun, are no longer around. There was a lot of things that ended up being in those two publications that were dead on the money. Things that made those publications that did not make mainstream news. One of them was confirmed to me years and years ago, 20 years ago, by the folks from the militia of Montana, which was just a citizens' intelligence gathering network. That was on the eve of impeachment of then President Bill Clinton. Apparently, in reference to the White House and in reference to White House intern Monica Lewinsky, Hillary Clinton, First Lady, looked at Bill and said, "You stupid, 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 stupid bastard. You're going to risk all this for that?" In reference to Miss Lewinsky. And apparently, First Lady Clinton jumped on Bill and beat the hell out of him. And 2 Secret Service agents had to pull him off. Pull her off, I should say. Pull her off the president. Anyway, that story ran in Weekly World News. It didn't run in your average newspaper. That story was confirmed by the folks at the militia of Montana, who had people who you might call them insiders in Washington, D.C. They said, yeah, that actually happened. And they showed, of course, Bill with a black eye or whatnot. But Hillary jumped on Bill and beat the hell out of him. Yeah, that story actually happened. I've seen a number of cases that actually happened. One was, and this one actually did appear in regular newspapers. Matter of fact, it was on the Montel Williams show years ago, back when he had his talk show. And then it also appeared in Weekly World News. And there was some guy over in Delaware, Ohio, I believe it was, just north of Columbus. And he molested his own daughter, or stepdaughter. Anyway, she was 5 years old. Well, her mother, her grandmother, and her aunt got a hold of old boy. Shaved his head, wrote child molester with a felt marker all over his body, and shoved a cucumber up his ass. And that story also made Weekly World News. It was on Montel Williams' show. Now, some stories that make the regular newspapers do make the tabloids. Not all of them, but some of them do. And some of these ones that they say, man, we got to keep that out of the regular paper. But someone's going to say something, release it in a tabloid. Sometimes they tell the truth exactly how it happened. Sometimes they tell truth with a little bit of fiction. Sometimes it's absolute BS. And you don't know what to believe anymore. But the hot sheets, as Tommy Lee Jones said, yeah, there was a lot of stuff in those hot sheets that was dead on and it was actually true. Weekly World News and Sun are no longer around. Anyway, this movie called The Shadow Men. That is exactly how the M.I.B, how they act. That is how their behavior is. And there's a lot of truth in that. And like, the M.I.B movie with Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith, there is truth in that. Of course, that's the one where they muddy the waters. And they do have ways of wiping out your memory, giving deja vu. Another movie was made the year before those two movies were made. It's this one, called The Silencers. It was made in 1996. This one gives a kind of a different spin on things as far as what something else that the M.I.B actually do. When they were trying to silence a senator who was working or trying to fund a project they called Project Time Space. And what that was is they were trying to open up a porthole to bring a group of interdimensional or off-world stormtroopers in here to raise immortal hell and do all kinds of crazy things. And it was done through a company called the Phoenix Project. Well, the M.I.B were working close with these people, working close with an Army general. As soon as they got what they accomplished, they tried to whack everybody in that they were working with. And so, anyway, that was a different aspect of it. But anyway, there's books that you can also get that deal with Men in Black. Some of these I recommend here. This one, Case Book on the Men in Black by the late Jim Keith. That's a good book. This one, Men in Black, The Secret Terror. This one here, The Truth About the Men in Black. And the one I'm reading right now, The Real Men in Black. And there are other books I'm trying to acquire right now. But anyway, if you want to see the movie that accurately portrays how the Men in Black actually are, I recommend this movie right here, The Shadow Men. And by the way, both The Silencers and The Shadow Men, you can watch them both on YouTube, full movie. All you have to do is type in The Shadow Men, 1997 full movie. It was with Eric Roberts and Dean Stockwell. I don't remember the lady's name. But you can watch those entire movies on YouTube. This one here, The Silencers, all you got to do is type in The Silencers 1996 full movie. Now, there are other movies that came out years before with the exact same title as this, but they're dealing with subjects that are completely opposite or completely different. Not opposite by any way. Completely different than this one. They just happen to have the same title. It's called The Silencers and The Shadow Men. I would also recommend this movie here, Roswell. And of course, folks have already seen the M.I.B movies, 1, 2, 3, and now they got a fourth one. And the fourth one, I tried to watch it, and I was just like, you got to be kidding me. But the first one, they really do put out a lot of truth out there. How these incidents happen. The M.I.B show up. Sometimes they appear out of nowhere. In the movie The Silencers, they show how they just manifest. I won't spoil that one for you. But anyway, I got to get going to work, but I just wanted to let you know, is there any way you can find out information about the M.I.B, and has the Hollywood types put out movies about the M.I.B that are more accurate than what's in pop culture? Yes. And I've showed you everything that you need to get, everything you need to see. There's additional books out there I have not acquired yet, but I'm going to attempt to acquire every book I can on the M.I.B, every movie I can that shows the M.I.B. As a matter of fact, in Roswell, they show just a sliver of M.I.B. They don't show any M.I.B activity. They just show an M.I.B man there when Rancher Mac Braswell, or Mac Brazel, was being questioned by military intelligence. So anyway, I got to get going to work. I want to leave this here for now. Leave your comments if you want to subscribe. I'm not selling anything unless you want to call me up and talk to me. I've got a few of these for sale. I'm selling them for $20. Anybody wants them? And those other t-shirts I have that you saw me hanging up here in my other videos called Storm Area 51, Are You Out of Your Rabbit Ass Mind? Anyway, take the information for what it is. Watch it for yourself. You can, like I say, watch those two movies on YouTube. Not going to cost you a thing. Just a little bit of time. Anyway, take care, people. Let me know what you think.